Hello folks, I am the old sergeant. You may have heard that the Marine Reserves have been activated and that an activation letter has been sent. This letter talks about an emergency within the United States. It is for the support of civil authorities, that there will be little warning of the event, and the date of 19 October is highlighted. Frequently, these types of things is basically a deployment warning. They will call you in. If you're subject to the activation, they'll send you to the local recruiter's office, check off your name, send you home on telephone standby. That lets you know that you can possibly be activated, so get your personal affairs in order, get your deployment bag ready to go, and wait to see if they call you in or tell you not to worry about anything. If you get a call to come in, there may be, in this case, various possible reasons for this happening. First of all is Iran. We're putting a lot of pressure on that country, and they may want to activate their sleeper cells within the United States to start attacking facilities and people within country. I did a video about a year ago based on a book called Day of Wrath, where the sleeper cells are activated and they're trying to start a war with America, and the way they do it is they attack our schools. And you can imagine that there is nothing more that will instill anger and hatred within the United States if you attack our children. Another one is a coup attempt. What we may be witnessing in the news is a coup attempt against the president and his cabinet. We've already seen a lot of deep state operatives getting very upset because Trump is taking out the deep state, firing a lot of people, reorganizing and getting rid of a lot of the deep staters. All these people with a great deal of power within our government that view the elected officials as just hired help. Also, all the executive branch investigations that are going on showing a massive amount of corruption within the Democratic Party. You're going to see more and more of this coming out. You may have heard about the Hunter Biden situation, where somehow he got a lot of money for apparently no skills just because of who his dad is. More information's coming out. Apparently one of Pelosi's children is in the same way. Whole bunch of people getting rich in the Ukraine. Massive corruption, so naturally they've got to do everything they can to get rid of Trump. The Democrats, the Marxists, the socialists, have already called, you can see videos of this, of congressmen going out and talking about the removal of the president by any means necessary. Very ominous words that. You see them talking about arresting members of the executive branch, the president, the cabinet, other senior leadership. Now, if you have a few talking about it, you know what's going on behind the scenes. There's serious discussions within the socialist organization, the Democrats, for seriously doing something like that. Some of the Democrats have even called for executions. Another possibility is a pending natural disaster. Recently, NASA just detected a lot of asteroids heading toward Earth. And of course, what you hear is, oh, there's a whole bunch of asteroids heading toward us. And of course, most of the time they miss, or when they hit us, it's something small. doesn't do any damage or does little damage. But you never know. They're not going to release the details. We don't know if some of these may be city killers or not. But even small ones can do a fair amount of damage. And calling out the military to aid with natural disasters is quite a common thing to do. And one of the duties that military personnel like the most is helping people after a natural disaster get on with their lives. Another thing that's happening is a lot of banking problems. You may hear about banks running out of money and having trouble borrowing the money that is required by law that they have overnight. And it's something they frequently do is they need a certain amount of money to have there, and they borrow it overnight at a small percentage rate, and that's just normal operation. Right now it seems like the banks are running out of money. We've already printed and pushed into the banking system trillions and trillions of dollars. Where has it gone? We may run into massive banking disruptions, like banks that don't open their doors, limit to a small amount the amount you can take out of your accounts. And this type of disruption can cause a lot of civil destruction. One of the things that is scheduled to happen is Antifa and other such organizations looking at the 19th and a lot of other dates for rioting and causing damage and attacking people and everything that they normally do. We may be looking at finally having the laws enforced where we go after these people for what they are. They're terrorists. So hopefully that may be, if that type of civil disruption happens for whatever reason, we're going to start taking down Antifa and other such organizations and the organizations that finance and support them. Essentially what we know is something is about to happen or is in the process of happening. This happens from time to time, and most of the time the good guys win, and you never hear anything about it. It just disappears and goes away. And hopefully this will be one of those situations. You'll hear about a Marine call-up, which also includes the other branches, and you hear nothing else. The Marines get called up and told on their phones and told, okay, you can stand down now. Or something does happen. In the event that something is going to happen, I strongly suggest that you prepare for it. Now, the folks up in the Dakotas, let's say, are very familiar with massive blizzards that can keep them in their houses for a long period of time until everything gets plowed out. So they're prepared with all the extra food and water stuff they're going to need in case even things like power disappears. The people on the coast, the southern coast, know about the hurricanes, and that can take you out for a long time. I went through one, a Cat 3, Hurricane Elena, in Mississippi, and it took us out for about a month and a half before the power was restored everywhere. So be prepared. Make sure you have a lot of food set aside. They sell you camping food that's supposed to sit on the shelf for 25 years even, and you just add water. You need lots of water. Store up a lot of water, even if it's non-potable water where you can use it to flush your toilets with. Make sure you're all fueled up. Make sure you're armed up, just in case something happens. We in the United States get caught up in normalcy bias quite frequently. We think everything within the country is mostly calm, cool. All the power shows up most of the time, unless you live in California. Food gets delivered, life goes on, and life is normal. That is not the normal state of affairs for the world. You need to be prepared for major disruptions, mentally, physically, have plans. Make sure if something happens, you all have, and your family have a meetup site where you all gather in case you have to leave your home for some reason and you can't get back to your family. Be prepared for something really bad and long-term disruption happening. But as the British did in World War II, you get prepared, but carry on. Folks, we may be entering a very difficult time, and I think primarily it's going to be for political reasons. Is you got a lot of desperate people that are trying to stop the president because he's going to expose all the corruption. And it's not just going to be D's, it's going to be R's too. He's going to expose corruption, and he's trying to drain the swamp. Well, the alligators in the swamp don't like being drained. They have their cushy jobs, they have their cocktail parties, they get rich off of the backs of other countries with corruption schemes. This could escalate and have a lot of problems within our country, so be prepared for that, and then pray that it doesn't happen. As always, stay vigilant.